He walked into the courtroom like an ordinary teenager, but what happened next left everyone speechless. They said this would be just another day in court, another case, another verdict. But what unfolded in that quiet courtroom would be remembered forever. A young teenager walked in, wearing nothing more than a plain t-shirt and jeans. No suit, no tie, no fancy words. He looked nervous. At least that's what everyone thought. The judge, sitting high on the bench, stared at him with a smirk. "You think you can outsmart me?" the judge asked, his voice echoing through the room. Laughter rippled from a few people in the crowd. To them, this was a joke. A child standing in a courtroom, all alone. But what they didn't know was that this teenager wasn't here to joke. He wasn't here to waste anyone's time. He was here for justice. The boy's name was Daniel. At just 17 years old, Daniel had faced more hardship than most people do in a lifetime. His father had passed away when he was only 12. His mother, working multiple jobs, barely managed to keep food on the table. Life was never fair to Daniel, but he had one gift, one thing that no one could take away from him: a brilliant mind. From an early age, Daniel loved books. While other kids played video games, he spent hours in the library. He read about laws, human rights, and cases that shaped history. Why? Because when his family was once wrongfully evicted, he saw his mother cry in silence, powerless against the system. That day, he made a promise. He would never let injustice win again. Fast forward to this moment. Daniel was standing in court because his family was being threatened once again. A landlord had filed an unlawful claim to evict them. They couldn't afford a lawyer. So Daniel did something no one expected. He studied the law for months, memorized every statute, every loophole, every defense. And today, he came to represent his own family. But the judge didn't know that. To him, Daniel was just a kid. "Where's your attorney?" the judge asked. Daniel calmly replied, "Your Honor, I'll be representing myself." The room fell silent. A few people chuckled. Some whispered. The judge leaned forward, amused. "You're not serious," he said, shaking his head. But Daniel was serious. He pulled out a stack of documents, perfectly organized, and began to speak. And as his words filled the courtroom, the laughter stopped. Every argument Daniel made was backed by evidence. Every law he quoted was accurate. His reasoning? Flawless. He spoke with confidence, not arrogance. With respect, not fear. The judge, who moments ago mocked him, was now leaning back, listening intently. Minutes turned into hours, and by the end, the impossible happened. Daniel won. The eviction was thrown out. His family's home was safe. The judge looked at him differently now, not as a child, but as something extraordinary. "Son," the judge said quietly, "I underestimated you." Daniel didn't smile, he didn't gloat. He just nodded and said, "Your Honor, thank you for listening." When Daniel walked out of that courtroom, he didn't just win a case. He proved something bigger, that no matter where you come from, no matter how young you are, knowledge is power, courage is power, and justice. Justice belongs to those who fight for it. So the next time someone doubts you, remember Daniel. Because greatness doesn't always wear a suit. Sometimes it walks in wearing a t-shirt and changes everything. If this story touched your heart, share it. Because someone out there needs to hear this today.